hello, and welcome to another edition of the Brooklyn Baby Podcast with me, your host, Charlene Sabb. Well, happy Saturday. Today is Saturday, May 31st, 2025, baby. And I'm just so happy to be with y'all. I'm so happy y'all chose to be with me. So let's get into it. Today's topic is just fun activities for kids. Yes, fun activities for kids. And believe it or not, just from my experience, when you have fun activities for kids, you have so much fun yourself. So let's get into it. The park. I know the parks near where I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. It is just so fun. And you know, if you know me, I like to take a morning jog or a walk, but preferably jogs. This girl likes to eat. This girl likes to drink. So I'm just being honest, fully transparent. If I did not partake in my daily walk, jog, or going to my gym, I'd be big as a house. I'm already a thick, curvy girl anyway, but all in the right places. But I'd be like, like a house. You know what I'm saying? Gargantuan. But luckily, because I always did some kind of exercise, when you get older, your metabolism slows down. I'd be bigger than I am now. But I got it in the right places, baby. Don't get it twisted. But like coming up, it was just a form of exercise. I used to walk with my dad. Well, he used to jog around Prospect Park in Brooklyn with his former coworkers at the hospital where he worked. And sometimes they would bring their kids along, and we would have our bicycles with us, or sometimes we would decide to jog with our dads. Well, they would run around Prospect Park. We would take a slow walk or jog, or sometimes we would just bring our bicycles, those little, have it attached to our dad's vehicles. We get to the park, our dads would take our vehicles, our bikes off of their vehicles so that we could go around the park with our bicycles. So it was like a fun way to bond with the children of my dad's coworkers. And while my dad, who was always into fitness, used to run with his male colleagues and coworkers who worked at the same hospital, and it was a way they could decompress and relax. It's just really nice experience. Sometimes I used to see Chuck Schumer, the great Chuck Schumer, politician, jogging around Prospect Park. He used to say Chuck Schumer was always friendly towards him and always would greet him. Senator Chuck Schumer, let's put respect on his name. So really nice experiences jogging around Prospect Park. So with kids, you have kids, you could also do the same thing. Jog. The kids enjoy the playground. I know when my granddaughter's in town, I would take her around to walk in our local park, or the reservoir in North Raleigh that is located right at Falls River and the dam. And we would sometimes walk or jog across the dam. And then we would always have a race with her. She enjoys herself. Some fun things to do with kids. Of course, you can never go wrong with the movies. We have something called Galaxy Fun Park here in North Raleigh, North Carolina. And she likes that. She can go on the trampoline. They have tasty food and snacks. They have arcade games. They have bumper cars, arcade games. They have zip lining inside. They have a caged-in area where they can actually go up and down the padded caged area and go up and down the slides and do like an obstacle course, but it's padded to protect them in case they fall. I mean, it's just a nice experience. So a lot of places now have these little things that are comparable to Galaxy Fun Park, where you just go inside, nice air conditioned, nice seating area for the kids. They can trampoline and go into these caged obstacle courses that are padded to protect them in case they fall, and just let them release some stress and get so worked up and tired. So by the time you bring them home, they're ready for bed. They're ready to they're ready to go to sleep. So that's a nice hack, especially if you just want your child, my granddaughter has a lot of energy. Actually, she has more energy. I told my son, I said, boy, I said, and you're a boy, you're male, she's a female, and she has more energy than most boys. And I said she had more energy than you had when you were a child yourself. She got a lot of energy, maybe too much energy. Um, but even though my son was an athlete, played basketball and football, he was athletic, but he was chill. He was calm. This girl, she's like a jumping bean. Like she's doing splits. She's a dancer. She's always moving around. So she needs something where she could just run off all that energy, exert all that energy, and then you let her do that. Take her to the park or take her to whatever, however you want to do it. There have been times she comes to visit. She lives 2 hours away with her mother. So when she comes to our side of the state of North Carolina, um, she could exert some energy. 'Cause a lot of times, when she's in town, I'll go over to my son's house to help him out, so that he can just have extra support. And I could tend to her, be an extra set of eyes in case he has to run out and go to the gym and run an errand or whatever. I'll be at his house with his daughter. So typical days, we walk around his neighborhood. We'll go to the park. She can go to the park, exert some energy. Then we go to a place like the Galaxy Fun Park, have fun. And by the time, if she has a full day, she is ready to sleep, or so we hope. So just some fun things to do. And I know where we live in North Carolina, a lot of people have the dinner movie theater where you could see whatever movie, and you have nice stadium reclining, or not say stadium, yeah, theater seats, movie seats, comfy, cozy. You can recline them, have your drinks, your food, and enjoy a nice movie. That's a nice experience for uh, kids and adults as well. Skating ring, ice skating ring, whatever you prefer, or both. I don't never ice skated, but I know when I worked for a summer program, the kids used to really enjoy it, but I didn't want to break my ankle. Never broke or sprained anything I didn't want to. However, when the same summer program where I used to work years ago, when school was not in session for me, but I made a nice check working at a summer program for 5 summers straight. Um, we would take the kids also to a local skating ring. Now I know how to skate now, forward and backwards, and I would do some things. So that's nice, just nice fun with kids. The museum, we have wonderful museums here in North Carolina, and most states have nice museums as well. You know, art museum. We have Marbles Museum here in Raleigh. Fun for the kids, very interactive, very engaging. And of course, we have um, the Museum of Natural History. Just so much, so fun. Um, Very educational, very learn. And our Marbles, there's a fee, but the Museum of Natural History is free. You know what? I know a lot of museums are not free, but in North Carolina, we do have some museums that are actually free. Okay? Like the Museum of Natural History, right in downtown Raleigh. So we got a lot of natural treasures. Okay? Some other things we like to do. You can never go wrong with a nice movie night. Just a nice movie night in your house, chilling. Um, Whether you want to use streaming services, whether you want to use Netflix, whether you want to use whatever you want to use, or whether you want to use Redbox. See, back in my day, we had Blockbuster. I know certain Friday nights, I would take the ride with my dad to our local Blockbuster. And if I'm not mistaken, the one we used to go to was near the mall, Kings Plaza, which is in Mill Basin. And that was our favorite go-to Blockbuster near Mill Basin, close to Kings Plaza Mall. Shout out to Brooklyn. And Dad would get whatever he and my mom wanted to watch, and I would get whatever I wanted to watch. And we make sure we return it so there's no late fees and all that stuff. So again, a movie night can never go wrong. And I know when my granddaughter's in town, I'm so grateful for Nickelodeon and all those little children networks and stuff like that, because it will keep her very occupied and keep her very busy, and and just give us something to look at, something to give me a break sometimes, where she could decompress and stuff like that. And she has something that she could watch, something that I could watch. We can watch something together. Or sometimes low key, if I need her to just have time to herself, I need time for myself, just put on something good for her to watch. And she's preoccupied. And, because some parents and children and grandchildren and grandparents, everybody needs a break from each other. I'm just being honest. That doesn't mean you don't love your relative or anything like that. But everybody needs their own personal space and time. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm fully transparent. Doesn't mean I don't love my grandchild. Or even when my son was young, I used to put in that Lion King movie, and he would watch it. And I used to say, after it finished playing on that on the VCR, I said, Mike, you want to see it again? Yeah, mommy, I want to see Lion King again. Baby, I put that bad boy in there again to play. I would get 2 extra hours of a break, and maybe, low key catch a nap while he's watching The Lion King. Again, repeatedly. And when I tell he's 33 now, and I said, Mike, The Lion King is my saving grace, was my saving grace. When you were a child, you would ask to see it over and over again. And he laughs. He said, boy, how stupid do I sound wanting to see The Lion King over and over again? I said, but that's what kids, that's how y'all are. Y'all are innocent. It's something y'all like. You can watch it over and over again. So my point is, shout out to Nickelodeon, the Disney Network, the Baby Network, all those networks that are currently in existence. So when my granddaughter is in town, I get a break. My son gets a break, and she could watch, something that appeals to her. And I think that was it, the Baby Network. What is that show she likes to watch? There's some particular show. I'm trying to think of that show she likes to watch. Oh God, what was it? What was it? One of those networks have the show. What is the show with the little girl and the bear? I can't even think of the show. But again, like I said, I'm grateful. Oh no. Uh, I can't think of the show. But it's some show that she likes on one of those little networks. And I put it on. She's good to go. And I'm grateful. So yes, my cable pays off. When you have something that can keep a child preoccupied. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that when she comes to town, we just sit in front of the TV. There's a lot of educational, learning things that go on too. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes as adults, we need a break. And the kid might need a break from us. So, of course, good activities with kids also within the home. Have good board games. I introduced my granddaughter to how to play Uno, spades, concentration, and yeah, it's fun. It's fun, 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 fun. Checkers, so good. It doesn't hurt to um, invest in some nice board games so that you could have family fun together as a family. And it's so fun, and everybody's, bonding, having quality time together. So that's what I did. One day, it was a visit. She was in town a few years back, and her name is China. I said, China, let's go in the car and get some board games. And she didn't know what that meant. I said, some games we could play. Oh, she understood that part. So I just took her and just bought all those games I just mentioned. Just bought a deck of cards, regular playing cards, and also bought a deck of Uno cards, and bought a checkerboard. And I just taught her the games. And I remember I posted some of the images and videos of her playing those games with me. And that's fun. And kids can't forget that. Even when she came to stay with my son a couple of months ago, we have video, not video, yeah, video and pictures of her and my son at the table. I believe they were playing, yeah, they were playing concentration. So that's just, it's fun, 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 fun. They also have some cooking classes in some cities. I know my city, they have cooking classes for kids, which I didn't take her yet, but I am. That's the next thing on my bingo card. Take her on some cooking classes for kids. They have some where I believe you can cook with the child, or the child can learn to cook with other kids. And there are also some places where you could take your child to painting studios where they could paint, and you get a keepsake of whatever they create. In addition to that, we have places we taking kids part of the summer program I mentioned earlier, where the kids can create art through clay. You come back and your whatever you created through with the clay and colored, you come back after they do whatever they got to do with your creation. You come back and get your finished painted product. They have somewhere you actually create the product yourself with the clay and you paint it, or they have whatever you want to paint. It's already created. You just paint it, and then you come back once they take your painted project to whatever process they got to put it in the oven or whatever, the kennel, whatever they call it, and then you come back and you pick up your creation a couple of weeks later, a week or two later, whatever. So some just some fun things to do with the children. And of course, I'm being a now newly retired teacher of English. Hey, you can never go wrong with a time in which you're just reading with your child's reading to you, and y'all have book talks. Have your child do some presentations. Have your child do a book report. And the book report doesn't have to be a traditional book report where they just write an essay or something like that. You could have a actual project that is a book reported project in which the child might have some choices. Okay, you could create a diorama. You can create a storyboard. You can create a presentation. You can create some type of finish or final product that also discusses the book and gives some information about the book. So there's so much you can do with these children. Their minds need to be stretched. Also, it can be something as simple as going to the lake or the river. Another thing, the pool. Please, people, teach your children how to swim early and young. Teach them how to swim early and young. I know I learned how to swim in college for a credit course. And I said, okay, I wanted some kind of physical fitness, but I wanted to learn how to swim. So me and my good friend Ngadi, we're still friends to this day. Shout out to Ngadi. She's living back home in Africa. She's from Sierra Leone, but she lived in America, became a nurse. She also graduated from University of Virginia with me. And she now lives in Tanzania. And it looks so beautiful out there where she is. So shout out to my girl. We've been friends since we were 18 years old. I met her as soon as I arrived at UVA, University of Virginia, in Charlottesville back in August of 1989. So yeah, we've been friends for over, long time, over 35, 36 years. So some things you learn how to swim. So I know we've taken my granddaughter for some swimming classes, which next time she comes in town for hopefully an extended visit, we need to get her into more classes so she can learn how to swim. So I know as soon as we moved my parents and I and my sister moved to Raleigh, North Carolina back in 1998, about a year or two after of us being there, I said to my dad, let's enroll Michael to swim. We paid $35 for Raleigh Parks and Rec for a series of swimming classes. I think we signed him up for 3 sets of swimming classes. I think those sets of classes were $35 each. And I think for those $35 classes, you got like 6 or 7 swimming classes on a set day per week. It's your child with a group of other kids for like, I think they had those classes for like 30-minute increments. So we did 3 sets of those classes, and Mike learned how to swim at the age of, he was what, 7 years old. That was one of the best things. Oh, also, yes, Raleigh Rec also had basketball leagues. I think I paid around the same price, $35, and he had some of the best coaches ever. And you sign up, and they play other Raleigh Rec teams. Your $35 includes the jersey, and whatever time your coach says you need to have practice, you practice. They give you a schedule of games. And we had great experiences through Raleigh Parks and Rec. So if your area has local parks and recreation that's really affordable, we also signed up for the local YMCA. And it was right near Michael's middle school and high school. They built a new, well, at the time it was a new YMCA right by our area elementary, middle, and high school, which were built a few years before the YMCA was built. And it was a great investment because I could work out there. This is before Planet Fitnesses were probably even created. So like, this is like, I'm talking about early, 2000s. So the local YMCAs in Raleigh, North Carolina that was like the gym to go to. So I would see a lot of my neighbors. I was able to like work out. I paid, I think it was like, for my son and I to have the family membership or parent plus child, it was like, I think about $60 per month. And it was perfect because Mike could walk to from his local middle school, Wakefield, and he could hang out with his buddies, get his exercise in, work out on the courts. It was like a great investment. And I know since he was in 6th grade, that's when I signed us up after we took a family trip at my dad's condo in Florida, Orlando. I said, okay, Papa, and I told my mother, Grandma, I called her Grandma. I said, when we come back from our trip, I'll sign us up for membership for the local YMCA. Best investment because, and this is before Michael got his car at 16. So when he was like in 6th grade, he was able to walk himself and his buddies. They get their McDonald's. They go to the local YMCA, shoot some hoops, lift weights, have fun as children. And he would do that every day, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. And when he was ready for my dad or I to pick him up, he would contact us, call us with his cell phone, say, I'm ready to be picked up. And sometimes his little buddies needed a ride, so we picked them up too, dropped them home. And then Michael got his car. His dad gave him his car when he was, I said 15 or 16. And then he was able to drive himself to his practices, whether it's football practice, basketball practice, or if there was no practice or they were out of season, Mike was able to like drive himself to the Y and hang out with his buddies, get a workout in, shoot some hoops. And then our membership lets you go to any YMCA in the area. So that was a great investment. So if you have a local YMCA, but you want to keep your family fit and active, that's a great, and they have swimming pools, discounted swimming classes, this, that, and the third. So much resources. Yeah. So yeah, some things to do with kids, some things to, do. I think I listed a whole multitude of things you can do in the house, outside of the house. And I'm sure more will come to me after this taping of this podcast episode, but it also took me down memory lane. Well, that's all for now. Thank you so much. Like Jay-Z said, you could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Spread the word about my podcast. Like it, subscribe to it. And we are going to soon have live recordings, because I know sometimes people just don't want to hear a person's voice. You want to see me in living color. You want to watch me in living color. I'm going to give you what you desire. I'm going to start filming myself recording live. So, yes. All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy this weather. Enjoy this day. Stay positive. Stay blessed. And thank you so much for your support. And spread the word about Brooklyn Baby Podcast. All right. Take care, everybody. That's all for now. Oh, one more thing. My hair care and skincare line is launching within the next month and a half. So be on the lookout. Information is coming soon with my website, everything. Thank you so much. God is great. Take care, everyone. Bye.